Alright guys, welcome back to this community. It's Ill Blur Matted 365, or you can call me Ill Blur Matted. The choice is yours. Today I'm back with a new video, and today's new video is actually something that I decided to get back into a little bit. Not a lot in my bag on this one, but just a little bit. Alright. I'm back with a story time when a close friend had a secret crush on me and why they stayed in the friend zone. So there was a young lady, we just gonna call her P. P was someone I knew throughout high school and everything. And we were just friends. We were really good friends, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, we had classes together throughout high school through 9th through 12th grade. And P was actually a friend of my ex-girlfriend's at the time, during the time. And like I said, we just would kick it, hang out type of thing, but it never was anything like that. Now, let's speed up the story. The graduation was the open house. I went over, just to show P support. My other friend that was actually dating P wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? Another friend of mine was there that me and him had seen each other in years and stuff like that. So it was cool to see my other friend that was there. Like I said, he didn't stay at our high school or anything like that. And, you get a chance, interact with P's parents. P's parents are, like I said, I've met them before quite a bit throughout high school. And, they were happy to see me. And actually, my mom came with me too, by the way, to it and stuff. And, it didn't dawn on me at the beginning that P was someone, like I said, she was a close friend of mine's. I didn't know that P had that impression of me, you know what I'm saying? So, P, her dad wants to top it up with me and stuff. I got a chance to actually talk with him. Like I said, he was a pretty nice guy. He wasn't intimidating. You know how you meet somebody's parent, like especially their dad, and, them being around their daughter and stuff in high school. He was impressionable. He was nice and everything. I actually got a chance to interact with her mom and stuff. And, I should have paid attention to it when the mom was hinting well, you're a nice young man. You should date my daughter P. And I'm thinking I never looked at P like that. You know what I'm saying? P, I never looked at her romantically. I was like, she's a cool friend. We have some similar things in common. And like I said before, it was more of a brother and sister type of thing, friendship. I never looked at her romantically because another friend of mine's dated P. That was my main reason, right? So it got a little awkward because I think her actual parents were trying to pressure me to date their daughter. I guess they thought my friend was no good. I'm like, yikes. I was outdone because I actually got them back together. You know what I'm saying? P and my other friend, I got them actually back together to go to prom together. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't trying to go with P. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
She asked me to prom, but I told her no.
And that's for another story, but that's a bit of a bad story. You know what I'm saying? So, the thing was nice and everything. We eventually left. It was a bit awkward because it was due to some other issues, which I'm not going to include in the story. But I want to say I might have talked about it before, dealing with religion. So, it was cool. It wasn't many people there. I guess it was dope to show support for a friend and everything. So let's speed this up. College. You know what I'm saying? One day, I want to say this, I know for sure it's Valentine's Day. P reaches out to me, you know what I'm saying? We talked, but we weren't as close as we were in high school. P sends me a text message, and I'm looking at the text message. I'm like, what? You like me? No offense, you know what I'm saying? I know to some people I am attractive, right? But I'm like, you like me? I never viewed P as someone where it's like, she might be the one for me. You know what I'm saying? She might be the one for me. I'm like, nah, so P was like, would you want to go on a date with me? You know what I'm saying? We can go out to the movie stuff. And P knew I like going to the movies because she would go to the movies with me and my other friends. And I told P, I'm like, nah, P, I'm not trying to cross that line Because y'all have to remember, I've already talked about this. My boy was dating P. All right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they broke up. Didn't care to find out how they broke up. But that's one thing I don't do. I'm not double dipping. I'm not about to dip in this barbecue sauce, dip in this ranch sauce. You know what I'm saying? Dip in this ketchup. I ain't dipping into going behind my friend. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at it. P like, hey, I'm risking it all. So unfortunately, because I didn't want to call because I felt like it would have been awkward. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Sometimes certain conversations can get awkward, right? So I just text her. I say, yo, P, you know, you and my mans was going together, right? I ain't about to go behind my man's back, and I'm still dealing with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are still friends at this time. I'm like, P had lost her mind. P had lost her mind. All right. So, for me, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It didn't feel right because, like I said before, my man's was actually dating P. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, I was dating one of your friends. You know what I'm saying? My first, saying the girl that I really had an interest in high school, even though it didn't last, I was dating your friend. You know what I'm saying? So, like, where does the friend code exist? Like, we just double dipping and not thinking about their boundaries, and there's certain things I'm not willing to cross because at the end of the day, P was mad at me. Like, I didn't hear from her for quite a while. And, maybe in the way it worked out because I didn't want to go behind my friend's back. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have did the same. He could have been like, oh, yo, I'm gonna go talk to your ex. You want to talk to my ex? Or I got you, I'm going to talk to your ex. And, the friendship dynamic was kind of lost. And that's totally fine with me. You know what I'm saying? But I just wasn't about to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, that's like me stabbing him in the back. Like, oh, you gonna talk to my girl? I'm stab you right in the back with it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah, P, I'm not feeling this. And I think, I've seen her off and on. You know what I'm saying? But I just felt like we had a really good friendship. And I never saw her in those lenses like, oh, she's attractive, she's my type, this is someone I see myself going on a date with. No. I just was like, nah, you're not going. So I had to put her in the friend zone. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes people be thinking they're going to shoot their shot because, so-and-so is not messing with me no more. Nah, you know what I'm saying? There's has to be boundaries. There has to be a friend code. And like I said before, I'm not double dipping. I'm not double dipping. But it is the hardest work I've learned on YouTube, guys. You tell me in the comments, have you ever put someone in the friend zone because you had no choice because they've already dated someone that that was their romantic interest? It is the hardest work I've learned on YouTube, guys. Thank you so much for commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, and also hit that bell to stay notified to check out the latest content. And I am out, legends.